everyone, welcome to our first episode of the Global South in Digital Society. In this episode, I will discuss with Hatty Liu, the PhD researcher from the London School of Economics and Politics Science, and expert in media and communication about the recent popular movie, Like a Rolling Stone in China, and the true story behind it, a 50-year-old Chinese woman, Su Ming's self-drive journey around China.
I'm currently a PhD candidate in media and communications at the London School of Economics. I'm in my second year. And before that, I worked at The World of Chinese, which is an English language magazine.
The movie is adopted to a certain extent because Li Hong drives along only at the end, which is about 10 minutes. Still, it also tells the story about a Chinese middle-aged woman bound by moral rules in traditional Chinese society, upraised Chinese women for a long time to sacrifice themselves' dreams, thoughts, and possibility to explore the world. I recently read your article about the interpretation of Like a Rolling Stone, this movie on the world of Chinese. What do you think of the narrative of this movie reveals some gender issues that have existed for a long time in Chinese society?
It raises awareness of possibly not issues that people are not familiar with, but it enables you to think about them in this more systematic way as the systematic injustice. So you can't really map Chinese experiences fully, like Chinese feminist history, fully into waves, like the same waves as in the West, like first wave, second wave, third wave feminism. But it does have its own waves. I think now we're seeing something maybe a bit like the third wave feminism about recognizing women not necessarily as victims of particular issues. So I think one of the points of discussion in the film also is that the husband was kind of toned down from the real husband in real life, who was much more abusive. Like he was physically abusive, and he had, I think, like a drinking, gambling problems and stuff like that. So in the movie, the husband was verbally abusive, but he's still very much part of this system that enacts violence and oppression on women, on their autonomy. Also in the movie, in the end, the daughter is kind of implied. She sacrifices her autonomy so the mother can have hers. It's a systematic injustice against.
Hatty's journalism experience focuses on feminism, rural China, and the global Chinese diaspora. She pursued and completed her master's degrees under the guidance of Professor Yue Zhizhao, whose research identified the need to integrate the development of ICTs in the global south with class-based struggles in local history. In the true story of Su Ming, the drive-along journey became very popular on social media. What do you think of its impact and power in the era of digital society?
Actually, in the story of Su Ming, the real woman that the film is based on, I think social media is very important to that, because for Su Ming, social media was very central to actually how she was able to support herself on the road. Not just in terms of earning money, although that's a part of it, but also, finding a community, finding help, and resources. So, and then she was, recently after she came home, she was able to, I guess, do so on her own terms. She was able to actually divorce her husband. And again, the finances played a part in that, because the husband asked for a huge sum of money, which she was able to negotiate down. I think he asked for like 500,000, and she ended up paying 160,000 in the end. But anyway, the point is that she had this money, and she bought her actual freedom with it. So I think having social media at her disposal, having these means to connect with people, despite herself not having a lot of skills that are considered marketable in today's economy, and having education or a huge network of people she knows, was something very important to Su Ming. And I guess in the bigger picture, you always do have to just look at the interplay between culture and structures. Looking at the development of any ICT in the global south, I think it's always important to situate that in the particular history, to look at change, to look at communication, to look at cultural change in the global south, or just from a historical perspective. It is important to keep in mind those historical and economic realities.
Thanks for Hatty's professional interpretation. That's all for this episode. Thank you so much for listening to Hatty's insights on this movie and how the digital media impacts the gender issue in Chinese society. See you next time!